Thank you for tuning in to Uncommon Women, a podcast that provides a platform for women of all walks of life to share their upbringings, life lessons learned, experiences, and journeys to come. Uncommon Women speaks on topics that can relate to all women. We share, we listen, we laugh, we cry, and we empower each other to be the best uncommon woman that they can be. Ultimately, we are cultivating a global movement of women supporting women. Women supporting entrepreneurship, relationships, self-love, and so much more. We inspire each other to make an impact on this world for the better. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe to Uncommon Women. Now, finally, grab a seat, get comfortable, and hear from your wonderful hosts, Shanira and Jenny Lee. Thank you, kings and queens, for tuning in to Uncommon Women. I'm Shanira. Jenny Lee, I can't hear you. I'm sorry.
And Jenny Lee.
Sorry, there we go. That's okay. So today we have an amazing guest speaker, Christina. She's going to come on with us in just a moment. She's a celebrity guru, but today she's going to be sharing a little bit about her story and also educating us on sepsis awareness. So while I bring her up, I'm going to give you a little bit about her bio, and any questions or concerns any of the viewers have, be sure to add it in the comments, and we'll answer any of your questions towards the end. So Christina is a CEO, makeup guru, a widow, a sepsis awareness advocate, a fashion commentator, a mother of 4 living children, and one who passed away. She lives with these titles, but she's defined by the word of grace. Christina openly shares her story of success and heartache to provide inspiration to others and to save lives through the sepsis awareness advocacy. So she's an amazing, also celebrity makeup artist. Just to name a few people that she's done makeup for, we have Hilary Swank, former Secretary of the White House, Dana Perino. She's also done ABC Disney's president, Anne Sweeney's makeup. So she's all about making women feel beautiful. So thank you, Christina, for coming on to our podcast today. We greatly appreciate it.
Thank you for having me. So nice of you.
You're welcome. So before we get into educating others in regards to sepsis awareness, can you tell us a little bit about your life? Let's take it back in regards to how was it when you were growing up?
I had a very blessed childhood. I grew up in California with my sister and my mom and dad. My mom, when I was about 8, was diagnosed with brain cancer. So my dad really had to step in and be a mom and a dad. But I had a really great childhood. I, rode horses and played tennis competitively. And I had a very nice childhood.
Oh, that's amazing. That's amazing. So let's get into how did you get into being an advocate and coaching people in regards to sepsis? Yes.
I was married to Ken Flach. He was a professional tennis player. He and his partner, Rob Seguso, were #1 in the world. They won Wimbledon. They were on the Davis Cup team. They had an amazing career. And so I was married to Ken for 8 years before he got ill and had bronchitis, which turned to pneumonia. And he got sepsis. His doctors didn't see him and misdiagnosed it. He started spewing up, yucky, yellow, orange, bloody stuff. When we called the doctor, they refused to see him. They just gave him something over the phone. We were with Kaiser Permanente in California. And so the next day, he was so much worse, started spitting up blood. I took him to the emergency, and he was on life support within the hour.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, and he never regained consciousness. And so after he passed away, that was on a Thursday. I took him to the hospital. On Monday, I took him off life support. His arms and sepsis is an infection of the blood, and it attacks all your vital organs unless you are treated promptly. Unfortunately, my husband wasn't, because the doctors at Kaiser
Didn't know.
Well, they didn't see him. How can you diagnose someone if you don't see them, right?
That is true.
Yep, that is. Wow.
So after he passed away, the Sepsis Alliance contacted me and asked if I would be willing to, speak about, raising awareness for sepsis, to honor my husband. And I felt like that would be a really positive thing to do, even though this was such a horrific event in my life and our family's life. And so it's been really remarkable. I have done a lot of shows like yours and TV and radio, and it makes me so happy to hear from people that, they hear my story, and because they weren't aware of sepsis, like Ken and I were not aware of it. And so they're much more aware to see if they have it or their loved one has it. I actually, one of my new closest friends is a woman that heard interviews that I had done, and she thought her husband might have sepsis. She rushed him to the doctor, and they wouldn't test him. So she called me, like, well, I don't think you have it. And I said, you know what? I don't care what they say until there's a blood test done. They don't know. So just demand it. Just demand it. You have to really, that's one thing I've learned. You really have to stick up. If you have that, we all have that woman's intuition. If you feel like it's not the right answer, then you need to be more assertive, and you need to demand something. So she got him finally tested, and he was septic. So we saved his life.
Thank God that she fought for that.
Yeah, she did. Wow.
That's amazing. Was losing your husband, was that the first experience you've had in your life, losing someone close to you?
Well, my mother died when I was 20. My son, Bo, passed away when I was about 40. And then my husband passed away 3 years ago.
Wow.
So yeah, and then my business partner passed away the year after my husband died. So yeah, I've had a lot of loss, but I have also had a lot of people. Like I was on this one show once, and I heard them speaking about me, and I didn't know what they were, and they just said, "Oh, we've got this woman on, and she's had this amazing, this very tragic life," and I just thought, my life's not tragic. I've had tragic things happen, obviously, but I feel so blessed. I've had so many millions of miracles. My children, my friends, my family, so many amazing things. So I also started speaking about grieving in a positive way. It just kind of happened when I started doing this sepsis stuff. People would ask me about grieving. And then I was on a hike one day, and I heard my husband, I hear him sometimes, and I heard him telling me, it is so hard for me to watch you in bed crying at night, and I can't comfort you. And, I know you miss me. I know you love me, but you need to be happy. And just, grieving and being miserable isn't honoring your loved one. So I started an educational foundation for my husband and my son at the Northern Lights School in Oakland, California.
That's awesome.
Yeah, for my children to go to private school. So we started the Baby Bo Fund, and then the Ken Flach Educational Fund. And then I started with my friend Lisa Zimmer at the Edna McGuire School in Mill Valley. Pardon me. There was a garden, so they turned it into an outdoor classroom, and the kids can, grow vegetables and fruits and have that experience from a really young age, which is super important to me. I'm really, education and nutrition are two big of my favorite
important things. That's awesome. So
if you can honor your loved one in a positive way, making a difference, I think that's really great. And imagine how you would feel if you had passed and you're looking down on your loved one and they're crying and unhappy all the time. That would be so unbearable for them. So I'm not saying I don't have moments that I'm crying and sad, but I really do try to have a positive, happy life. So yeah.
That's good. What other tips could you give anyone suffering from, grief of a husband or a child passing away?
Well, it's so interesting. Everyone grieves differently, right? I went to a grief camp at Canyon Ranch, and that was really helpful. I was not in the best mental state when I got there, but I learned that no one's grief is worse than anyone else's. Everyone's is equally important. But I really learned that, you really have to, during the beginning parts of grief, right at the beginning, you really need to take care of yourself. I mean, you have to be extra disciplined with, getting out and going for a walk or exercising and eating well, not drinking, alcohol or taking drugs to self-medicate. It's really important, if I get too hungry or at the beginning, if I got too hungry or too tired, everything seemed so much worse than it was. So I was really mindful of just trying to take as good a care of myself emotionally and physically, so I could, because I have children, and if I'm not okay, they're not okay.
Right. Yeah, very true. Very true.
Right. So it was really important for me. They know I was sad and am sad and miss him so much, but they also know that I have a business to run, and I have I have my agents book me jobs, and if I'm not okay, then it's all going to just spiral out of control.
Crumble. Right.
Yeah.
So,
Chris, go ahead. I'm sorry. As the death of your husband, how did your children take it? Because I know all children, they probably were close to their father.
It was my kid's stepdad, but my kids loved him like their father, and my stepkids have been, it's been devastating for them all. He was such a huge presence in their life. He was so much fun and smart and sweet and just an amazing father and husband. And they've all, had challenges of dealing with this. And my youngest one, Ben, it's been particularly hard. I don't want to say it's been harder for any of them, but I think Ken became his, his daddy when he was 2, and he didn't remember, life before him. And so, and they were super close. And, I think it's, he's kind of doesn't like to talk about him, and he's kind of private and just it's hard for him. But I will say this, at the Northern Lights School, they have a celebrity golf tournament every year. And my son is a golfer. And
he took after. Okay.
He has been amazing for the past 4 years, has gone and been on a hole for, to raise money for his twin brother's foundation.
Okay. Twins.
Yeah. He's been raising money for that. And last year, the year before the shut-in, he raised $35,500 for his dad and his brother's foundations. And it's so remarkable because I said to him, Ben, I'm so proud of you. Like, it's amazing what you've done. And he's like, Mom, I played golf. Who cares? And I'm like, Ben.
That's an accomplishment.
I told him, I said, Ben, 3 kids are going to be able to go to private school for a year because of you, what you did today. And that changes lives and communities in the world. And I just am so proud of him. And he was only 13 years old when he did that.
Wow. Yeah. Amazing. Yes, definitely.
Yeah.
I love that. There's the courage. There's still the courage in him.
Yes. Yeah. So brave. And I feel like it's a nice way to honor, his daddy and his brother, by helping other people. And I think it's really important. I've told my kids, Ken was a famous tennis player, and I'm like, you can't just get stuff. You have to use his name to honor him, not just be like, oh, well, we get into Wimbledon or the US Open. No, it's not. You
a free ride. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you need to, now that he's gone, you need to honor him in a positive way. And I think it's very important. And I think when kids start at a young age, it's kind of like they do that the rest of their life, right?
Yeah, it's easier for them to adapt when they get older as adults. I totally agree.
Right. It's just kind of a way of life of giving back. Like, it's just part of it. It's not just taking, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
I didn't know you had twins. That's awesome. Did any of do you have all boys, or is it just 2 boys and 1 girl?
My oldest is Melania. She's 27. She's fashion designer. She has a She studied in London at Central St. Martin's.
Oh, wow.
She graduated last May, and she started her own line of fashion design called Rouja, which is going to be in Neiman Marcus in San Francisco in June. We're really excited. And my daughter Rose went to NYU, and she graduated from Tisch, which is the film school, and she's a screenwriter.
Mm.
She works in TV and film.
That's awesome. Yeah. Oh, I'm glad I'm sure you're proud of them as well at their accomplishments.
Yeah. And then Nikolai is 20, and he is in college and plays golf and is trying to turn pro. And my little one, Ben, who's not so little, he's 6'1". He is in 8th grade, and he plays golf competitively as well.
Wow, that's awesome. Did any of your children experience or take the loss of their other sibling passing away harder than others? Or like, what emotions were you going through, you know, losing a child, having to bury your own child?
That was so horrific. That experience, you know, my son passed away, Bo, on Christmas Day. So we woke up and that whole thing was awful. I think they've all had, you know, probably Ben not so much, he doesn't remember because he was 4.5 months old when it happened, but it's affected them. But I have to say, my kids are really incredibly balanced and happy, and these things, you know, they don't define them. It's part of what happened in their life, and you know, I think they have a lot of gratitude for the life that they have. They have, and you know, their dad is amazing, and they have a very blessed life, and I think they realize that. But you know, that was a very, very hard losing their brother for sure.
Is it still hard around the holidays for the family as a whole?
Yeah, I mean, they don't really talk about it, and I try. You know, I always put Bo's Christmas stocking out. I think about it, but you know, how do I say it? It's like not. It's not any. I miss him every day, my son, and you know, I try to not be extra sad on Christmas. I try to just think of, you know, how grateful I am that
the good things,
you know, and to keep things happy for the other kids, because it's not fair to them. Even though we've had this happen, that their life has to be, you know, Christmas has to be a terrible day. I don't want that. I want it to be a happy, loving day for them.
That's great.
That is. As far as in the future, like, do you see yourself being married, or how have you thought about that in the future?
Or dating, or
yeah.
That would be nice. At some point, it might be nice to get married again, or you know, have someone special. That would be really great.
So, give us a little bit about how was your life? You know, being married to a celebrity. He's a professional tennis player. Like, how did things typically run? Like, I see. Well, I hear. I'm not sure if it's true, but I hear often that the wife of a celebrity kind of gets like pushed back to the side, but you have your own celebrity makeup that you do for people. So was it like, were you guys like hand in hand when it came to the celebrity portion, or was he always like the fourth runner for the family?
It's so funny. So after we got married after he retired, but
okay.
You kind of forget that he's famous because it's your husband, but you know, it really, like when we would go to like a Davis Cup event or to the US Open or to Wimbledon or something like that, it was like, oh wow, he really is a huge deal, and they made a big deal about him. So it was nice to see. I'm glad that, you know, he worked really hard for all those accomplishments, and I'm glad that, you know, the tennis community honored him. After he passed, the Indian Wells tournament that's, you know, around the time that he passed, a year after, they honored him with a golf tournament. My husband was a golf freak. He was obsessed. And so it was really cool. They did a celebrity golf, a golf tournament for all the ATP players, for the tennis players that had retired. And they called the Ken Flach Golf Tournament, and which was, he would have loved.
Awesome.
Yeah, he would have loved it. And so I gave out the trophy the first year. So I felt really great about that. And you know, my husband was like my biggest fan. He was always like, my wife's the famous one. She's a magnet.
Oh, you're the famous one.
I'm Christina Flach. So it was. I mean, I was very proud of him, and I know he was very proud of me. And what I do. You know, they're so different, the things that we are known for, I guess.
That's great.
Awesome. And I love that your children took, you know, after his footsteps and playing golf too. That's amazing. Now you said you played tennis too. Is that how you guys met?
I did. I played tennis as a junior and in college.
Oh, nice.
I was for like 5 seconds. We met through friends. We actually met on Facebook through friends, believe it or not.
Oh, okay.
My friend, next to his partner and his wife. And then I don't even know how he emailed me. We emailed each other for like a year and a half before we even met in person.
Wow.
We got married once we met, we got married in 6 weeks.
Wow. That's awesome.
That is. Yeah, when they said when you love.
No, when you know.
When you know, you know. Oh, and I wanted to say, when you mentioned that your daughter was 27, you look amazing.
Oh my God.
You look amazing.
Very nice. Thank you. I hired myself today.
She did awesome. She did an amazing job.
I'm like, paint girl.
See, now if we were in California, I definitely would hire you to do me and Jenny Lee's makeup for today.
What made you get into the makeup industry?
Well, I don't even know how I became a makeup artist. It kind of just happened. I remember doing my mom's makeup when I was young, when she was, I mentioned she had cancer and she was going out with my dad, and, her skin, she was really beautiful, but her skin got discolored and she lost her hair. And so I wanted her to like look like the best she could look to go on a date with my dad. And I just remember like how different her vibe was. Like her energy was totally different, because then she felt like she looked like herself, right? And so I really loved how making her feel good made me feel good. And then I just started kind of painting faces and friends, and then I, doing weddings and stuff. And then I got an agent. It was pretty remarkable. I am very blessed to do what I do. I love my job. It's so much fun. I get to meet really neat people and travel and get paid really well. I mean, I work my tail off. It's long hour. You're on your feet the whole time. It's very stressful at times. You wait around sometimes, but then you're like, chop, chop, let's go. But I finished a TV series last March for Fox with Isaiah Washington. He was on Grey's Anatomy, and he did this TV show called Kitchen Talk. It was a talk show in LA. And I've never done a series before, so that was fun. So to meet all these interesting people is really like one of the blessings of my job, for sure.
That's awesome. And I love what you're doing for the community, whether it's, making people feel beautiful or just educating them in regards to the awareness. So how can you teach us? I know we went into a little bit about your best friend and her situation with her husband, but how could you teach us or teach others to be aware of the steps or, anything that they can be concerned about, to get a test to check and see if they have something within their blood?
Well, you can go to the sepsis.org website.
Okay.
And they have a little square thing that says time, and T is for temperature. You can be either incredibly hot or incredibly cold. I is for infection. You have some sort of an infection in your body, whether it be a tooth infection or a cut, or like my husband had bronchitis, turned to pneumonia. And then M is for mental decline. They're like a little off, like they're just all not, things are getting a little foggy. And E is for excruciating pain. You feel like you're dying because you are. Sepsis, my husband was a big, strong athlete, okay? And for him to go from, you know, being okay to not in such a short time, and that it attacks all your vital organs, your arms and legs turn black. There's not getting blood.
Wow.
It's awful and so fast. It is so aggressive and so fast. So that's why I urge people, if you have any of those signs at all, please quickly go to the emergency, demand a blood test, and you know, they'll know in 20 minutes. And if they do, then they give you an IV antibiotic and you'll be fine. Whoopi Goldberg's had it. A lot of people have had it.
Wow, I didn't even know.
Yeah. And
Wow.
so it's just, you know, time is of the essence. You know, there's a golden window whether that you can get the IV, you know, the antibiotic and survive before your organs are attacked.
Wow.
Is there something that triggers it, or something that people can just be alert on? I know you said we went over the time procedures, but is there any way that people can have it and not have any of those symptoms?
I don't think so. I think it's pretty
okay.
clear those symptoms. I mean, you know, if you have, you know, if the temperature is a big one, and if there's an infection in some form of your body, I think those two things are really important.
So an infection, okay.
Okay.
You know, people have had a cut in their leg, or, you know.
Minor as a cut, okay.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's it's just crazy how something just by a minor cut, like you mentioned, can like really turn into a bad infection and kill you. That's
right.
Wow.
It's so shocking how fast. I mean, to go from Thursday that we went to the hospital, and then by Monday, like even in a day, everything, all his organs were shutting down.
Wow.
Yeah, it was terrible. But, you know, again, his doctors didn't see him, and I blame them. I 100% blame Kaiser Permanente for not seeing my husband, and if they had, he would still be alive.
Wow. Wow. Do you have anything else that you would like to share that we haven't covered today? What would it be?
I don't know. Whatever you guys want to talk about, ask away.
Is there anything that you would like to share in regards to just any of the occupations that you love doing, whether it's being a mother, being an amazing mother, being a widower, juggling a job between doing makeup and being an advocate? What would you like to share? Anything that you want to share for entrepreneurs or anyone that has a dream to be a makeup artist, or, you know, just whatever your heart desires?
Well, I think it's really important to love what you do. I really love my job, and I've told my children, like, figure out what you love doing, and even if you didn't get paid, what would it be? And then figure out how to get paid well.
Okay.
It's really important, you know, to work really hard. You know, like I work 7 days a week. I mean, I'm constantly working on my company, or if I have a photo shoot or whatever, you know, I don't stop. And I think you have to know that it's going to be a lot of hard work, but, you know, hard work does pay off. And,
sure does.
And you know what? You never want to feel like you didn't try.
I like that one.
I at least know I really tried. I gave my 150%, and, you know, that's all you can do. And then, you know, it usually will work out. And I think it's also important to have, you know, love big. I don't, you know, don't be afraid. I think it's important to, you know, if you find your person, love them big. And I think you'll have a happy life.
Oh, I love that. Love that. So, what are you currently doing now in the industry with your makeup? Can you tell us what you're really doing right now as far into your company and how we can find you?
Well, I'm working on, I've got investors coming in, and we're going to expand the makeup line. I have an amazing partner who I adore, Jordan Hall, and he is very private and doesn't like when I mention his name, but okay.
I'm going to have to write that down.
But we're working on a skincare line. We're working on a hair care line and expanding the makeup line. So we have a lot going on with Pretty Girl. We're really looking forward to 2021 being a really remarkable year for us. And then my agents are booking me, which is so great. today was like a year ago almost. It felt like my agents called and I was like, wanting to know where I am and what if I can get to San Francisco really quickly and what I can, do. It just feels really great to get back to normal. And I didn't realize how much I loved my job. I knew I loved it, but I didn't know how much it really defined me and how much I miss being around people and, having those experiences. It was really, really hard this past year, not being able to go on set and work with people. It felt so, it was really, really hard. And also I'm an artist. I need that creative outlet. I can only paint my own face so much, right?
Right.
And, you can't, there's nowhere to go. So there's really no point in painting the face. But it's amazing how when it, started again, how quickly it all just comes back. Like, you're still,
creativity is still there.
Yeah.
Comes back.
Yeah.
Thank God. I'm glad I didn't lose that. That would have been really awful.
So do you use your makeup I know you have lipstick. Do you have anything else? Do you use like all your products when you actually go on set to do I was always wondering, do you use your products or do you use anyone else's?
I use mine, but I'm also very blessed. There are two companies, Japanesque and Kosas, who have been incredibly generous with me. They send me makeup all the time, makeup brushes, and I use all their stuff. And I am very grateful to be able to use their products on my clients. It's really, really remarkable. That was like a dream. It's like you get a box at the door, makeup, and it's like if you're a kid in the candy store.
Right.
They sent this to me. I'm so honored. I'm like, my God, I'm so grateful, but I'm always very good about making sure on all my Instagram that I tag them, if I do a magazine cover or, I work with a pop singer named Empress. And so I do all her, photo shoots, but I do like her album covers. And so I make sure that the companies that are so kind and generous with me, that I, tag them. It's super important.
That's awesome.
I love receiving mail, even if it's from Amazon.
It feels good when somebody just sent you something and you just open it. You're like, oh, that is so sweet.
And it's not a bill, right?
Not a bill. Yes, it's pretty great.
Oh my goodness. My question for you is, for women that love to wear makeup or women that don't have time to wear makeup or that just want a natural look, what tips can you give them?
Well, it's super important to take care of you. I'm very much into nutrition, as I mentioned. So I drink like first thing in the morning, water with vinegar, Bragg's apple cider vinegar. I drink a lot of green juice. Yeah, I drink green juice. I drink tea. So I feel like if you're healthy on the inside, your skin's going to look better. Obviously I use I like moisture oils, facial oils. I think they're really good for your skin. And you don't need to have, this is one thing that I teach people. You don't need to have a million products in your makeup kit like I have for work. Foundation, a powder, fill in your brows, concealer under here, just make it simple and clean. And, you never want your makeup to look like, oh, look, there's some pink and orange and blue. Oh, wow.
Oh, no.
You just want to see a pretty face. That's kind of my style. If you look at ChristinaFlach.com, my portfolio, you'll see that everyone looks just like really fresh, dewy skin and, big bright eyes. And so I think, I think it's just important to look like the best version of you and not worry about what's in style right now, like with all this contouring and all this.
Yes.
Yes. Much for going to Target, right? So, I mean, I appreciate it. I think it's super fun to look at all that. But for, doing lifestyle for photo shoot and stuff, it's a cleaner, simpler look. And I think changing your mascara every 3 months.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, it does not get better with time. It's not. It's definitely one of the things that you got to like change it out. And so that's important. And, taking good care of your skin. I'm drinking a ton of water.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Because I love makeup myself. So I love makeup, and Shannara will let you know I love makeup. I got too much of it.
Well, you know what I did? I started doing that is like, really take out what you use and just some basics there.
Okay.
And then stuff that you're not using, put them in little bags and give it to someone as like a little hostess gift or something. Drop it on the door. Like during stuff, you can drop it on someone's door. I get like tons of stuff, and I would make little spa bags and give it to friends and stuff. So I just think it's a really too much makeup. It's like, how much can you really use?
Right.
That is true. That I'm gonna take that. I'll take that.
Take it into consideration, Jenny Lee.
Yeah.
Because I literally have like the 5 that I use, and that's it. And then when I need to replace it, I do. But she has like a whole. I'm like, do you even use all that stuff?
Yeah.
She used to be on like this monthly makeup thing, and I'm like, do you really need that?
Well, a lot of those things are fun, though. They, skincare. I don't know. I get that. It is fun, but again, you can only get so much gift with purchase before.
Yeah. Yeah. Anything you would like to share? Anything else you'd like to share to anyone out there?
I think it's just be happy. Enjoy your life. Be happy. Love who you love, and smile, and try to be positive. I tell my kids all the time when they get out of the car, I'm like, hey, go make the world a better place. And I think if everyone would keep that in mind, making the world a better place and being happy, happiness is a choice. I firmly believe that. And I think regardless of your circumstances, it's not hard to smile at someone and just be respectful and kind. And if everyone would be respectful and kind, life would be a lot easier, I think.
Definitely. I agree. I agree.
Thank you for coming out, Christina, and sharing your story.
Thank you for having me. I really appreciate it.
I love the courage and how you're still a mom, just balancing everything out in your life, and that shows true courage. Thank you so much. And we have one question we ask all our guest speakers. What makes you uncommon?
What makes me uncommon? I think what makes me uncommon is that I'm pretty relentless. I don't give up. I love big. And I really try to make the world a better place.
Love that.
I love big. I love that one.
Mm-hmm.
My daughter tells me that. She always tells me, Mommy, I love you big. And I'm like,
oh,
that's so sweet.
Love big.
Thank you again, Christina, and thank you for our viewers for watching this evening. Check out our merchandise on www.uncommonwomen.net. If you have some topics or any potential speakers, you can also go onto the website that I just said, www.uncommonwomen.net. Also, we're having a self-love seminar next month. We're still working on details. Once that comes out, we'll be promoting, and as well, make sure you guys check out YouTube. Comment, like, share. You already know what you got to do. And also, tune in next week on Thursday, April 8th at 6 p.m. Eastern, as our guest speaker will be speaking on food addiction. And stay uncommon.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you.